So let's talk about PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. You've probably heard of it, right? And you've probably also heard, well, totally mixed reviews. Some people swear it's a miracle, and for others, nothing, a total bust. What's going on there? Well, it turns out the answer to this whole paradox is actually way simpler and, frankly, more important than you'd guess. And hey, if you're thinking about getting PRP yourself, this is probably the exact question bugging you. How can something work wonders for your friend but do absolutely nothing for someone else? It's a really good question, and believe me, it's not just random luck. There is a very, very specific reason for these crazy different results. And, it's not just patients who are confused. The science itself looks like a total mess. You've got these huge, expensive clinical trials, and the results are all over the place. Some say, yes, it works. Others say, nope, not at all. It leaves everyone, doctors included, just scratching their heads trying to piece together this PRP puzzle. Like, what is actually going on here?
But what if the problem isn't really with PRP itself? What if the whole idea is sound, but we're missing something? The key, that one missing piece of the puzzle that unlocks why it works or doesn't, it's not some big, complicated secret. It's actually a single, critical thing that, believe it or not, gets overlooked all the time.
And here it is, that critical variable. It's the dose. That's it. It's not just about getting a PRP shot. It's about getting the right amount of PRP in that shot. Honestly, this one thing is the biggest, most important factor in whether a treatment is going to be a success or a total failure. Okay, so what do I even mean when I say PRP dose? It's really two parts. First, you've got the concentration. How packed with platelets is the injection compared to your regular blood? Is it 2 times the normal amount, 7 times, maybe even 14 times more concentrated? And the second part is just the total number of platelets they're actually injecting. Put those two things together, and that's your dose.
And when you put them side by side, the picture gets crystal clear. In one corner, you've got low-dose PRP. That means a low platelet concentration, usually from a tiny little blood draw. And what do you get? A much higher chance of failure, especially if you're an older patient. But in the other corner, you have high-dose PRP. We're talking high concentration, which means a big blood draw, and a way higher rate of success.
So, the big question is, why? Why does more automatically mean better here? Well, it all boils down to some pretty simple biology, really. It's all about how our bodies are designed to heal themselves.
Think of it like a chain reaction. It's super logical. Step 1, a high PRP dose means you're getting way more platelets. Step 2, all those extra platelets release a ton more growth factors. Step 3, more growth factors kickstart more cell growth. And the final step? All that extra growth leads to a stronger healing response and, you guessed it, a better result for you. It's a straight line from A to B to C to D.
Okay, but here's a really, really important detail. This is not a one-size-fits-all deal. The dose that works for you is totally dependent on your age. See, as we get older, our cells just get a little, lazy. They don't respond as well. So to get them to wake up and start healing, you need to hit them with a much bigger dose of those growth factors. And this chart really spells it out, right? If you're younger, yeah, you might do just fine with a lower dose. But once you hit middle age, you're going to need more of a medium dose. And for older patients, a high dose isn't just a nice to have. It's often the only way you're going to see any real results at all.
Okay, so that's the science behind it. Pretty cool, right? But the real question is, what do you do with this information? How can you actually use it? Well, let's turn all this theory into a super practical checklist, something you can use to make sure you're getting the best possible treatment.
All right, here's my first pro tip. It's a quick and easy way to spot low-quality PRP, and you can do it yourself right there in the doctor's office. The simplest way to guess the quality of the PRP you're getting? Just look at how much blood they're drawing. And I love how Dr. Centeno puts it so bluntly. He says, a lot of blood generally means high-dose, high-quality PRP. A little bit of blood means low-quality, low-dose, cheap PRP. It really doesn't get much clearer than that. Lots of tubes? Good sign. Just 1 or 2 tiny vials? Red flag.
But wait, it's not just about the amount of blood they draw. There's another sneaky factor in play here, a hidden variable that can totally change the game. The quality of the kit they use to spin your blood down and get those platelets.
And get this, because this is pretty shocking. Your average run-of-the-mill PRP kit is only about 40% efficient. What does that mean? It means 60% of your platelets, 6 out of every 10 of those amazing little healing cells from your own body, are literally just thrown away in the medical waste. Only 4 make it into the syringe. With that much waste, you can see how hard it is to actually get a high dose, right?
And that brings us right back to the beginning, to that puzzle of why the studies are so confusing. When researchers use these common, inefficient kits for their big clinical trials, they're not even testing high-dose PRP. They're unknowingly studying low-dose PRP. And that's a huge reason why so many of these studies fail. They weren't testing the treatment, they were testing the wrong dose.
The actual data is just jaw-dropping. When scientists went back and looked at all these studies, they found that using a low dose, we're talking less than double your normal blood concentration, made a study 12 times more likely to fail. 12! That's not a small difference, that's huge.
And it gets worse. A full 60% of all the trials that use low-dose PRP were total failures. They showed the treatment was no better than getting a saltwater injection. Nothing.
But here's the kicker. This is the most damning number of all. Out of all those low-dose trials, how many were successful? 5%. That's it. 1 in 20. The evidence here is just overwhelming, folks. Low-dose PRP just doesn't work.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? It's simple. Knowledge is power. Seriously, just understanding that dose is the key gives you, the patient, a massive advantage. It helps you make sure you get a treatment that actually has a real shot at working. So here they are. Write these down. These are the exact questions you need to ask any clinic before you say yes to PRP. Number 1, how much blood are you going to draw? Number 2, what's the final platelet concentration you're giving me? Is it 2x, 10x? Number 3, what's the platelet capture efficiency of the system you use? And finally, number 4, are you going to adjust my dose because of my age? A top-notch clinic will have no problem answering every single one of these.
At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. You have to forget all the fancy brand names and the flashy marketing. The single most powerful thing you can do to get a good result from PRP is to understand the science of dose, and then demand a treatment that's actually designed for you.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Now that you know the secret, that it's all about the dose, are you ready to go out there and ask the right questions? Are you ready to be your own advocate and get the treatment that you actually deserve?